Hello world, Kyle here with NimbleNoggin, and we are going to talk about UI labels. So I've got with me my Swift Components Tour app, and we're just going to open up the Labels Detail View Controller. So this first view controller was the detail view controller from the template of the master detail template that I chose when I created this app. And in this detail view controller was this label here that says detail view content goes here. Now, since the label is one of the most basic text components in iOS, I thought I would leave that label there. And I did not touch it. I added some auto layout constraints and left it how it was created. Just to serve as an example of about as basic as a label can be, the font point I think is 12 using the default system font. That's about it. So if we look down here at this second label, I actually added this one on my own. What I did to create it was I copied the center one, set up auto layout constraints to move it down a little bit, and let's check out the storyboard. And what I did was I set this lines property, which is actually connected to the UILabel.numberoflines property, and set it from 1 to 0. And basically with that property, when you set it to 0, you are saying that there is no maximum number of lines. So the text content in the label will adjust based on its frame size. So I filled with the frames a little bit and made it so it lays itself out to 1 word per line. Now, if you may have remembered, let's just show you again in the app that this top label has the same text made from the same string, but each word is styled a little differently. But in the storyboard here, it looks just like the center label. And how did we do that? We used something pretty cool called NS attributed strings. You can actually set a text component's text to an attributed string in Interface Builder, except it's just not as in-depth as I was looking for a good example of what you can do with attributed strings. So let's check out the code. You can see here that there's a reference to that top label in the storyboard right here. We can actually view it right here. And all I'm doing is on viewDidLoad, I call this method set attributed strings. I basically come up with this font, and I set this attribute for the entire string on the init method of this NS mutable attributed string. For each word, I add a new attribute to the string only at the range of the word. Now there are going to be some neat ways to maybe get the NS range of a word out of a string, but I was just keeping it simple. This is a static label, it's never going to change, so I just counted it out manually that the second word starts at the index of 7 and continues on for 4 characters. And we can see in the app the first word, detail, no attributes other than the Georgia font size 24. The second word, we added a strike through style. Third word, larger. Fourth word, red. And the fifth word looks italicized. Now there's a lot more that you can do with UI labels. You'll be using a lot of them in iOS development with Swift or Objective-C. But I thought this would be a good overview and introduction to the UI label. Thanks for watching.